Here's another number to ponder today, 40 trillion. That's America's national debt. When President Obama left office in January 2017, it was 19.9 trillion. We have more than doubled our debt in less than 10 years. 72% of that increase came during the Biden presidency. By way of comparison, in 1981, when I was still a freshman in college, no pictures available, America's national debt reached, and it scared a lot of people back then, I remember, $1 trillion. Economists tell us what matters in this conversation most is the debt to GDP ratio, essentially our debt load as compared to the size of the overall U.S. economy. Back in 1981, when the debt hit $1 trillion, that ratio was 30%. Today, it is 122%. And that means the government is paying a lot of interest to service that debt. Just how much? Well, $931 billion through July, which is up 11% from last year. Interest payments, of course, provide no services. In fact, they compete with dollars for defense, healthcare, education, immigration enforcement, infrastructure, and national parks. Recently, this debt load has driven up yields for U.S. Treasury bonds. Now, yields, that's very dense intellectual terrain. But the basic math is this. When yields on 10-year bonds go up, so do interest rates for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards. The Treasury Department this week accelerated its debt repurchases to take some pressure off those rising yields. But the positive effects wore off quickly, and that left bond markets jittery, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent at pains to explain.
There's nothing magic about the 40 trillion number, and we can grow our way out of that. So, but what we do want to signal is I think that there's been a lot of misinformation in terms of what's going on with the deficit, what's going on with the deficit to GDP.
It's always a bit daunting when government officials say markets misunderstand data. Markets are driven by data and relatively adept at seeing through smokescreens. And $40 trillion of debt and rising bond yields, well, they're clear as day. We're going to start there with our Nancy Cordes at the White House. What else did the Treasury Secretary say on this topic? And then, Nancy, will shift very quickly to the economic D-Day and Iran.
Major, I'll get to that in just a second. But first of all, congratulations on 300 episodes. And where's my T-shirt? I figure I've done at least 120 of those episodes and counting. I want a T-shirt.
You deserve a T-shirt and a blazer. We'll work on both.
Yeah, and I'll take a mug. Thank you very much. But when it comes to the debt, the administration really didn't have a ton to say today, Major. They were very focused on debt reduction, talked about it all the time at the start of their term back when DOGE was a huge priority. But there are a couple of major things that have actually added to the debt lately. First is the war in Iran, tens of billions of dollars and counting. And the second is the Supreme Court declaring that the justification that they were using to impose tariffs on countries all around the world was inappropriate, and they basically had to refund all of those tariffs, about $166 billion worth. The Treasury Secretary, you played a little bit of his sound. He also said today that, the new justification that they now have for tariffs, they are convinced is going to be lawful, and that will end up bringing more money into the Treasury in the long term. He also said that the longest term solution for the debt is a growing economy.